And Galton-Fenzi, he is co-leader of the ACECRC's Ocean Forest Evolution of the Antarctic Ice Shelf Project. That's a mouthful. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. So this is the biggest calving event then in 50 years. I mean, what did you make of it when you heard about it?
It was incredibly exciting. So, yeah, like you've just said, it's the biggest iceberg that's been carved from the Antarctic Ice Shelf for more than 50 years. I mean, we've been waiting for this. There was a prediction that was made in 2001. There was a paper written by people here in Hobart. Helen Fricker was the lead author of that paper. She's now at the Scripps Institute of Oceanography. And the prediction was that this iceberg would calve in around 2010 to 2015. In fact, the funny thing is, the prediction talked about the loose tooth, and the loose tooth is a kind of a nickname that was given to a part of the ice shelf that started to develop the characteristics that looked a little bit like a baby's loose tooth. What we've actually seen isn't the loose tooth. It's a bit just to the left of the loose tooth. It's actually much larger.
Okay. I mean, and now it has to be monitored because it could cause some dangers we're hearing in shipping zones. I mean, explain what that really means. Are we looking at, a potential Titanic scenario if it's not closely watched?
Well, the shipping down that way is probably not the types of ships that are like the Titanic. The Antarctic Ice Shelf actually sits right between two Australian stations. To the west side is Mawson Research Station, and to the east side is the Davis Research Station. And so it's a very big ice shelf. It contains a lot of ice. This iceberg is massive, and depending on where it goes, it's going to possibly influence how the logistics suppliers and the transport of people into those stations to be able to operate safely and efficiently in Antarctica can actually happen.
Okay. I dramatized it a little bit. Makes for better TV, right? Listen, let me ask you, I mean, as we said, this does actually happen naturally. You were waiting for it. But when you combine that kind of calving with what's also happening as a result of global warming and what we're seeing in the North Pole, particularly around Greenland, for example, I mean, how much are we really facing total transformation of the ice caps on both ends of the Earth?
No, I mean, that's actually something that we're trying to understand. I mean, this particular event is something that we've been anticipating for some time. It's finally happened. It's fantastic that it has happened. We have instrumentation that's on the ice shelf that's going to be able to measure the transition of the flow of the ice and how the ocean's actually melting the underside since the calving's happened. That helps us then to allow us to sort of look at what the variability of the system is, and so we can then look at the emergence of long-term trends like the influence of climate on the ice caps. Now, Greenland's changing, Antarctica is changing. That's a fact. We're going to have to come to terms with that. And particularly, what we're trying to understand is how rapidly is these things going to change. Greenland contains 7 meters of ice by itself. There's 60 meters of potential sea level rise locked up in the Antarctic ice sheet, and so it's the combination of these things that we need to try to get our heads around.
Okay. Ben Galton-Fenzi, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us with that from Hobart in Tasmania, Australia. We appreciate it.
Thanks.